It's nice to play with the block. One teacher started a class, picked up a block and said, "Guru, teacher." You know, the block will teach you a lot about your body, so use them. Okay, let's bring the blocks to the side. So from here, just starting at the front of your mat, inhale, bring the arms, reach up to the sky. And exhale, fold forward into Uttanasana. Inhale, lift through the chest and heart. And exhale, come into downward facing dog. Nice. Okay, so from here, let's start the practice with just making sure that our core is working, our transverse abdominis. So this pose is dedicated to Selena. Inhale into plank pose. Now I'm going to give you guys some different options. Don't feel like you have to do them. It's just more for fun. So please don't get too hung up on whether or not you can do them or not, okay? Exhale back into downward dog. One of the things that I want to see more is core activation. So inhale into plank. You're not really going to move your bodies, but I want you to suck your navel into your spine more. So take your navel to the ceiling. There you go. That's it, Grace. And exhale back into downward dog. Now, let's kind of add to that. So inhale into plank pose. Good. Now, let the hips dip just a little, but then bring the navel up, 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 up. Press back through the heels of the feet. Now find that connection, arch to lesser truncator. Can you feel it? Exhale, downward dog. That adds a whole other dimension. Nice. Inhale into plank. Check in with the placement of your hands, so you don't want to put stress on those wrists. Okay? Bring more of the navel to your spine. There you go. Let the hips dip just a little, but navel to spine, engage the inner thighs up, inner thigh, there you go. Exhale, downward dog. Good job. Okay, this one we're going to have a little fun, so it's just optional. Inhale into plank. Now, if you want the fun, that was really inviting. Bring your right elbow to the ground. And then bring your left elbow down. Try not to move your hips. Keep your hips down, Bill. Get those hips down. Get those hips down. Get those hips down. Hips down, hips down, hips down, hips down. There you go. And then come back up onto one hand without moving the hips, and then other hand. Oh, just for the cheap seats in the back. Let's do it one more time. So come down on one elbow or one forearm. Come down on the other forearm. And then come back up. Oh, do you guys feel your core working? Yeah, and any tears yet? Exhale, downward dog. Inhale into plank, and then exhale, slowly come all the way down to the floor. And just rest in crocodile pose just for a moment. Okay? So crocodile pose is such a great pose. I was talking yesterday about how it helps with breathing, but notice that natural lordotic curve in your lumbar spine right now. Great pose to just kind of encourage that lordotic curve. So breathe in deeply. We're just going to stay here for about 15 more seconds and then exhale. Inhale deeply and exhale. Inhale deeply and exhale. Okay, so from here, what I'd like you to do is we're going to kind of just do a little cobra pose. We're not so much warmed up, or our muscles are not activated, so this is really more of an experiment. I want you guys to see what happens when we activate muscles. So bring your hands underneath your shoulders, and then bring the hands just a little bit wider, maybe half an inch on each side. So it's not so much, just a little bit. Okay? Harrison, I think that was 3 inches. So Now lift the elbows up, okay? And I want you to kind of find neutral elbows. Now I know that there's a lot of talk about where the elbows should be. It's usually hugged into your ribs. We'll talk about that one day and why that's not correct. But for now, hug your elbows into your ribs and then let your elbows splay out as much as you can. And then bring your elbows in and then just kind of let the elbows relax to wherever they go, okay? And that's kind of like your correct form. So draw the chest forward, bring the forehead down to the floor, and then slowly start to come up into your cobra. Without judgment or prejudice, just kind of push up to where you feel comfortable, okay? Draw the shoulder blades down the back and express your heart forward. Good. Okay, so come on down. Make sure there's nothing beside you because you're going to be moving your arms around a little bit. So I'm going to move anything away. Bring your hands down. Bring your forehead to the floor, please. Bring your hands down beside your waist. Good. And then inhale, lift the chest up as high as you can. And just lift the arms up just a little bit here. Just a little bit. Good. Now, see if you can squeeze the shoulder blades down the back just a little bit. Nice. And then exhale, come on down. Very good. So then let's do it again. So lift the chest. And now this time we're going to get the arms moving. So inhale, bring the arms forward to 45 degrees. So keep the arms straight. And bring the arms to about 45 degrees forward. The thumbs are going towards the ceiling. So kind of like you're hitchhiking, but the thumbs are going towards the ceiling. Lift up as high as you can. And then slowly come on down. Bring the hands back beside your waist. Do you guys feel your upper back muscles working? Hello. So I didn't really cue it. I was kind of like letting whatever happen. But technically the answer is no. You should not be using your glutes. Because if you're using your glutes as a compensation, the strength should be coming from the upper body. So, okay, so hands down beside your waist, lift the chest up, and then bring your arms to about 45 degrees forward. Again, you're having the thumbs pointed upwards. Okay, bring your arms a little bit more, right about there. Good, lift up as high as you can. Bring your arms to about 45, more. There, lift up. Exhale, come on down. Bring the hands back beside your waist. I like this movement of the arms because it starts to encourage all the muscles supporting the shoulder joint to engage. Lift the chest up. And then slowly bring the arms to 45 degrees. Just keep the arms as straight as possible. Lift up as high as you can. Now from here, exhale, bend the elbows to 90 degrees. So level with your shoulders. Lift them up, lift them up. And if you lift the back of your wrist towards the ceiling, you're going to feel your posterior delts engage. Now straighten the arms. Bring them forward. Lift. Exhale, bend the elbows. And then bring the arms back to beside your waist. Hello. Or rather, good morning. This pose will clear the sinuses in the morning. Delicious. So, for our friend Anna over here, this is a pose you need to do every day for the rest of your life.
Yeah, my grandmother shrunk like half a foot from scoliosis and punching over.
I believe it. This will prevent that, or at least dissipate it a lot. Let's do it one more time. Okay, so lift up the chest. Bring the arms, kind of swim the arms forward to 45 degrees. Good. Now drive the thumbs up. Inhale. And then exhale, bend the elbows to 90 degrees. Lift the chest, lift the manubrium. Think about the, yes. Now stay there, but bring the arms forward. Bring them forward. Lift, 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 lift. Bend the elbows. Lift, lift, lift. Exhale, come on down. So before we were talking about how many poses does it take to prepare for wheel. one of the muscles that we need to prepare is trapezius. And what we just did was completely activate the trapezius muscle. So that's the part of your muscle or your body that starts to get into extension in the upper back. Bring the hands underneath your shoulders. Okay, bring the hands a little bit wider, just a little. Find neutral elbows. And then with the forehead on the floor, slowly come up into cobra and see if there's a difference. Does it feel different? It's just like butter. Does it? Yes? I mean, all of your cobras look different. It's like now you went from baby cobra to king cobra all of a sudden. Does it feel different, Asia? Yeah. So bend your elbows a bit, Asia and Grayson, and start to pull the arm bones back towards the back of the room. Push the chest forward. Push your chest forward. Push into my hand. But there you go.
Oh, nice.
There you go. Now lift up a little higher, push, and then slowly come on down. Take a rest in crocodile pose, please.
What is the name of the muscle? Trapezius or trapeze?
Sorry?
The muscle you're strengthening? Is that
The trapezius muscle. It's the muscle that attaches here and comes into the spine all the way down here.
Yeah.
So it's responsible for upper back extension. Take another breath or two, or three. Inhaling deeply. Exhaling deeply. Okay, we're going to do one more little pose here, and this is to activate what's called the semispinalis, which acts as an upper back, extensor as well as a rotator. So it's very important rotation as well. So bring the arms down beside your waist. We'll just do it 3 times. Normally we do it 6, so I'm just going to do it 3 times on each side. So what you're going to do is bring your forehead to the floor, lift the chest about an inch or so off the floor, so just a little bit. Then rotate as much as you can to the right. Try not to rest on the left shoulder, so keep the left shoulder off the floor. And then lift up as high as you can. So you rotate and then lift. And then relax your neck a little bit there. And then slowly come on down and just rest. Breathe in. Interesting thing about this muscle is it's an opposite side rotator. So we're actually strengthening the semispinalis right now on the left side of the spine. Okay, so lift up a bit and then rotate to the right and then lift up as high as you can. And hold for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and come on down. So one of the questions earlier is, should my glutes be engaged? The answer is no. So if you want to rest your hands on your glutes, just to remind yourself, just keep those glutes soft. Lift up a little bit and then rotate to the right and then lift up as high as you can. Try to keep those glutes relaxed. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then come on down. I know. And then let's do the other side. So lift up a little bit, this time rotate to the left, and then come on up as high as you can. Good. You know, when you're driving sometimes and you look over your shoulder to see who's in your blind spot, come on down. And you find it's difficult to turn your head. What do we know is probably going on? If you've got pain in your neck when you're looking over your shoulder, you feel like you can't. It's probably because some muscles aren't working. Semispinalis, one of them. Very important muscle to make sure. It's very important for rotation and has an effect on your rotational ability within your neck. Lift up a little bit and then rotate to the left and then lift up as high as you can. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and relax. How are you doing? You're okay. You take it easy, okay? And then let's do it one more time. So lift up a little, rotate to the left, and then lift up as high as you can. Good. Good job. Lift up a little higher and rotate a little bit more. Nice. And then come on down. And just take crocodile pose just for a breath or two.
It's also good for surgery.
Oh, absolutely. It's good for everything. Anytime you rotate in every single movement you do in life, pretty much. It's very seldom you ever just strictly fold forward, go backwards, or go to the side. Every movement has rotation involved in it, especially surfing. Nice. Inhale deeply and exhale deeply. Very good. So before we come up into dog pose, please make sure you've got 2 blocks in front of your mat. Okay, and then come up into downward facing dog. One of the things that you're going to come to learn about me is that this whole thing about vinyasa, it's like, how effective is it? What it actually, is it useful? And so, but however, what I often will do is throw a lot of planks in my class. Because one of the number one muscles that's so important to make sure is activated is the transverse abdominis, the TVA, we talked about that. And it's usually the number one muscle that will start to just become disconnected. So anytime we can throw a plank into the practice, it's always good. So let's do plank, just to make sure your TVA is working. So let the hips dip just a little bit. One of the cues I didn't really give yet is let the hips dip a little bit, pull the navel into the spine, but then bring the pubis bone, the pubis symphysis, forward towards the navel a little bit. Does that make it stronger? Exhale, come into downward dog. And then from here, we're going to do lunge pose. Lift your right leg up to the sky, inhale. Exhale, lunge your right foot up to your hands. Now let's get the blocks there and bring the blocks to the highest point. And then come onto the fingertips. Press back through the left heel. Very nice. Now bring the navel into the spine. Remember yesterday we were looking at Anna's pubic bone. And lift the pubic bone away from the right thigh here. Does that make a difference? Okay. And then very good. You guys have got this. We're going to be practicing this, I think, today. So in our afternoon session. But yeah, this is fantastic. So exhale, come back into downward dog. You can bring the hands to the floor. And just come onto your knees really quickly. So one of the things that we see consistently is, I call it, it's not a very good anatomical term, I will admit. I'm always bugging people about bad anatomical terms. But this is like dumping into the hips. You see this a lot. Okay? And people don't even know that they're doing it. It's just there's so much flexibility that there's no stability. And so what we want to see is a sense of rising out of the hips. So we're going to talk about this more in the afternoon, but that's what we're kind of going for, is lifting out of the hips. And so as we're doing this pose here, we're not really teaching high lunge in the master class, but we are going to move into this in other classes, of course. But when we're here, what we're really doing is teaching people to lift out of the hips. Does that make sense? And you guys all did it, so I think you could feel it. too. So let's do the other side. So bring the hands to the floor and come into downward dog. Okay, so inhale, bring the left foot forward this time. And then bring the hands to the blocks. Come on the fingertips here. So I like coming on the fingertips if it's possible for the student, because you're not like hanging out on the blocks. You're actually using muscles to lift away, and that's kind of what we're looking for here. Press through the right heel. Engage to the right leg. Now lift the pubic bone, away from the left thigh. And can you express your heart a little bit more forwards? Very nice. Inhale and then exhale, bring the left foot back, downward dog. Just do it one more time on your own on each side, please. Do it one more time on your own on each side. Remember to breathe, follow your breath. And then we'll meet in downward dog. Very good. Take about 5 breaths in downward facing dog. Feel the fingers spread. Lift the arms away from the floor a little bit. Feel the armpits kind of hollowing here, if you will. Broaden the collarbones. Can you create a little bit of space between the ribs and the hips? So lift the ski slopes of your buttocks upwards. Maybe bend the knees just a little bit. Lift your toes so that sometimes that can help you to lift the ski slopes of your buttocks up. There you go. And then from there, feel the engagement of your thighs and start to press the leg bones back if you can. Good. And then very slowly start to walk the feet up to the hands. And then bring the feet about hip distance apart. And from here, bend your knees to not quite 90 degrees, maybe 70 degrees. Bring the arms forwards. Pretend that you're holding on to some sort of beach ball. Draw the shoulder blades back. And then start to lift that ball up to the ceiling and then start to allow your chest to follow as you come into chair pose. There you go. From here, take one more breath in, lift up through the manubrium, sit back a little bit more into your heels if you can. Very good. And then inhale, come and stand. And then exhale, bring the arms down. You guys feeling a little difference between back bends and forward bends? It's kind of palpable, isn't it? It's like, oh, we're not calming and grounding anymore. Yeah. It's what?
It's harder, right?
It's more active. Yeah, definitely more action. Inhale, bend the knees, come into chair pose. Very good. Good. Sit back a little bit more. And then inhale, lift the manubrium, and then exhale, fold forward into Uttanasana. Keep the knees bent here a bit. And just take a breath. Inhale deeply, and exhale. And then inhale, reach the hands forward, come and sit back into chair. See if you can find those inner arches now. Lift those inner arches. Allow yourself to sit back a little bit more sharp. Stephanie. There you go. And then inhale and come and stand. And exhale, bring the hands down. Practice, just play around with it in your practice. Like you're kind of doing a little this.
Yeah.
So just allow yourself to sit back.
It's like breaking in.
Yeah, just experiment with it. Don't get rigid. Just find that place where you can start to feel your back muscles. Inhale, bend your knees and sit back into chair. Find those inner arches of the feet. Yes. Can you connect the inner arch to your lesser truncanter? Can you connect the inner arches to the corners of your mouth? Inhale, exhale, fold forward. Nice. Inhale, bend the knees. Come in, sit into chair. Good. Now here, sit back a little bit more, and then exhale, bend the elbows, and come into that cactus pose. Lift the chest. Lift the chest. Reach the arms up. Inhale. Exhale, bring the arm bones back, and then inhale, come and stand, and exhale, bring the arms to the sides. Take a breath. Close your eyes. Feel that expansive quality of breath. Feel the expansive quality of the pose. Okay, so we're going to do Sun Salutation C. We did that yesterday. I'll guide it 2 times, and then I'm going to give you guys a chance to practice it a couple of times. And then we'll go through this practice today, I think, this afternoon. Okay, so Sun Salutation C is kind of a classical sun salutation. That's what C stands for. It's classical sun salutation. Most sun salutations, well, all sun salutations really are just kind of like newly invented, or variations of A and B. So we will go through a sun salutation. But classical, and I don't really know when it was created, but it is classical because it's probably one of the oldest ones. How old? I would guess somewhere between 300 years and 2,000 years. So somewhere in that range, they created it. And but classical sun salutation was never meant as a yoga warm-up. It was meant as actually a sacred practice to invoke all the qualities of the sun. So there's 6 mantras that go with classical sun salutation. I don't remember all of them. The first one is Om Hrim, second one is Om Hrum, Om Hrum, and the last one is Om Swaha. I give this practice to the sacred fire. And so for the yogis, the sun represents the primal source of prana in the universe. They didn't know about other stars or other suns. So we know that without the sun, life would end. And so it's really, quite frankly, without the sun, there would be no life. And so for yogis, from a tantric perspective, our question is always, how do I get closer to the source? How do I become that source of prana? That is the core, the essence of sun salutation. How do I become that source? So it's a very devotional practice. It's not a way to warm up your muscles. Sorry. So just kind of have that in your mindset as you're doing these practices, that you are doing each of these postures and they represent a different aspect of that pranic source. Okay? So let's go through it. So come to the front of your mat, please. And then inhale. Bring the arms and reach up to the sky. Take an optional back bend here. Lift your heart. This is a back bending actually kind of practice. Exhale, fold forwards. And then from here, lunge your right foot back as far as you can, knee to the ground. Draw the heart forwards. And then exhale, bring the left foot back and come into downward facing dog. From here, inhale into plank pose, and exhale, bring the knees, the chest, and the chin to the ground. Inhale, slide the nose, chest, chin along the floor, come into cobra, and exhale, come into downward facing dog. Inhale, bring the right foot up to the hands, the left knee to the floor. And then exhale, bring the left foot up to the hands and fold forward into Uttanasana. From here, reverse swan dive. Come on up with an extended spine. Reach all the way up to the sky. Go back if it feels good. And then exhale into Namaste Mudra. Just take a breath here. Allow that breath to connect to the source, to even merge with the source. That your breath is the same breath that beats through the universe, that pulses creation into existence. It's a very kind of immature view of pranayama to think that pranayama is just about breath control. It's a very immature, callowed view. Pranayama is, at its core, is about us being able to merge our awareness, merge our prana with the source, and that we become attuned to its infinite quality, that it's limitless. There's no end. And when we tap into that, we realize there's no such thing as being finite. Inhale, bring the arms and reach up. And take a little bit of a back bend if it feels good. And exhale and fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, take the right foot back. Bring the knee down to the ground. And then exhale, bring the left foot back and come into downward facing dog. Inhale, come into plank. And then exhale, knees, chest, chin to the ground. Inhale, slide the nose, chest, chin along the floor. Come into cobra. And exhale, downward dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, take the right foot up to the hands. Left knee down. Exhale, left foot up to the hands and fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Come on up. And exhale, Namaste Mudra. Okay, so just do 2 more rounds on your own. And just before you do that, with your mind, go through like you're instructing a class, because that's what you're going to be doing this afternoon. So in your mind, kind of talk through the instructions, and then after we finish this morning, I want you to start writing out those instructions, okay? So do it 2 or 3 times. Do it 3 times. Go through it 3 more times. Walk through it in your mind. Start to think about the instructions. Yeah.
For whatever reason, whenever I drop my knees and then my chest and my chin to the floor, I just collapse. Is there anything I can do to like engage whatever is supposed to keep my hips up during that and then guide myself?
Can I see you
through?
do it?
Yeah.
Let's come into dog. Okay, so wait. Come into dog. Come into plank pose. Good. Bring your knees and your chest down. And stick your butt up. Okay.
Was that?
Well,
I just kind of fall.
so are you able to do a push-up?
Nope.
No. Okay. So we just, I mean, it's just strength.
Yeah.
You know, you're just going to build up strength. But what you might want to do is when you're doing this, try like come into plank and then exhale, bring the knees down. And then bring like that.
Okay.
Try that. But that's just, quite frankly, it's just weight traps.
Okay.
So as you start to do more of these kind of exercises, you know, you'll start to feel
Okay.
a lot stronger because the muscles shortening there as you come down are the traps. So they're the ones stabilizing your upper body. So bring the knees down first. Bring your butt back just a little. Now bring your chest down. There you go. That's it. And then slide forward. Kind of push the chest forward. Nice. There you go. When you finish, we'll meet in Tadasana. So find your stance in Tadasana. Maybe for a moment, bring that block back in between your thighs. And just kind of come back to feeling engaged. Take your time if you're not finished. There's no rush. So we're just waiting here for a moment. Go through all the cues in your mind for Tadasana. Think about all the cues, like you're giving yourself instructions. Okay, so let's just do a quick check-in. So how are you guys feeling? Yep. What are you starting to feel from backbends?
Digestion.
Digestion's working. Definitely can improve digestion, sure.
I have a different view of what a backbend is.
You're having a different view? How do you feel energetically right now? It definitely energized. Okay, yes, you guys are feeling more energy, more movement. So definitely backbends start to create more movement. You guys feeling a little bit of the expansive quality? Yeah. So now I'm going to start to try and draw your attention a little bit more to that expansive nature. Let's put the blocks to the sides. Okay, and then coming up to the front of your mat, inhale, bring the arms and reach up to the sky. Inhale, exhale, fold forward into Uttanasana. Inhale, lift the chest and heart or half lift. Exhale, fold and bring the feet back into downward facing dog. And just because we can, inhale into plank pose. Never get enough plank. Let the hips dip a little bit there. Nice, Desiree. And then bring the navel into the spine. Exhale back into downward dog. I want you to start doing something extra. Come into plank. I really want you to focus, lift up here. Lift, lift, lift. Make that part of your practice. That'll start to strengthen your serratus anterior, giving you more strength in your shoulders. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, lift the right leg up. Exhale, take the right foot up to the hands and breathe into Warrior One pose. And then exhale, come into Warrior Two pose. Now, just for alignment purposes, let's straighten the right leg first. Cross your arms. Actually, first, bring your hands to your hips. And notice if you're doing, I call her LA girl. So bring the hips in a little bit more. A little bit more, Sydney. Bring that left hip down. There you go. Level the hips out. Now imagine that you're squeezing the hips into midline. And another way of saying that, there's a few ways to say that, but one is with 5% effort. Okay, because some of you hear 5%, then you think 5,000%. With 5% effort, squeeze the feet towards each other. Do you feel a little bit of adduction? And then take the fingers or the hands, interlace them above your head. If that's hard on your shoulders, just have the arms separated, okay? If that's too much on your shoulders or elbows. But lift up. Do you feel the midline of your body extending? Okay, now cross your arms here. Inhale, inhale, bend the right knee and start to bring your right shoulder to your right hip bone. Right shoulder to right hip bone. Keep the left shoulder going back. So you're on one plane. Inhale, come back up. And keep the right knee bent. Exhale, right shoulder to right hip bone. And keep that left shoulder moving back. So squeeze the right shoulder down. Inhale, come back up. Can you keep a little 5% adduction, squeezing the feet together, just a little bit. Right shoulder to right hip bone. Keep that left shoulder back. Imagine that you're sliding down a wall. Okay, and then come back up. And then right shoulder to right hip bone. Really squeeze it here. Good. Now, from here, just drop the right arm. And then bring the left arm, reach up and over the head. Okay? And then inhale, come back up. Spread the arms. And exhale, bring that right arm back to just where it was. Left arm over the head. Nice. Inhale, come back up. And we'll do it one last time. We're going to hold it there. So right arm down, left arm up. I'm going to cue you a little bit more. Press the right arm into the right shin. And press the shin into the arm. So I want both pressing into each other. Now use that to open up. So take the left ribs and spiral them towards the pool. It also helps when you take the left corner of your mouth towards the pool. Inhale, come back up. Good. Warrior two, 2 breaths. Spread through the arms. Again, a little bit engagement in those adductors. Squeeze the hips into the midline. Beautiful. Nobody's dumping. I love it. No dumping yogis today. And then exhale, windmill the hands to the floor. Right foot back, downward dog. And just for you, Grayson, inhale, come into plank pose. I know. We'll see if we're still friends today. Then let the hips dip just a little bit. Can you get the navel into the back spine a little bit more? Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, the left foot up to the sky. Exhale, take the left foot up to the hands. Inhale, warrior 1. Exhale, warrior 2. And we'll just kind of go through that alignment on this side. So straighten the left leg. Bring your hands to your hips. And just level the hips out. Notice that right hip kind of wants to jet out a little bit. Squeeze the hips into the midline. And again, create a little bit of adduction. Just again, 5% effort. Remember that when we create adduction, what's happening? The inner leg starts lifting up and supports the whole pelvic floor, the ischial tuberosity. It all starts to lift, which then influences our core. Bring the hands above the head, interlace the fingers. Find now the midline of the body. Connect the midline. The midline, we're going to talk about this on Sunday with our root center, Mula Bandha. So feel that Mula Bandha lifting. This is how you start to tap into it. There's a line from Mula Bandha that goes through Sushumna, that goes through the center of your body, up to the crown of your head. See if you can tap into that. Very good. Inhale deeply. Now from here, let's cross the arms and squeeze it. And then inhale, bend the left knee over the ankle of the foot. Keep that. And then exhale, left shoulder to left elbow, left shoulder to left hip. Inhale, come back up. Is that okay, me keeping my hands there? And then exhale, left shoulder to left hip. Yeah, hold it there, squeeze it. Squeeze it, right shoulder comes back just a little bit, Bianca. Inhale, come back up. Lift up through the midline, lift up through the midline. Exhale, squeeze the left shoulder to left hip. There you go, good job. Inhale, come back up. Lift up through the midline. Keep that right shoulder back a bit. And then exhale, squeeze that left shoulder to left hip. So think about. There you go. And then inhale, back up. And exhale, squeeze the left shoulder to left hip. This time, let the left arm drop and right arm comes up. Your arm isn't, don't reach the hand for anything. Just let it come down. Take the right arm over the head, spiral open. Inhale, come back up, warrior two. And then exhale, come back into this pose. Nice, we'll do it one more time. Inhale, back up. And exhale, come in. This time we're going to stay there for just a few breaths. Press the left arm into the shin bone and the shin bone into the arm. You're going to kind of feel an isometric contraction. Use that as leverage to start spiraling the right ribs back. A little bit more. Beautiful. Inhale fully. Exhale fully. And then inhale, come back up. And just pause there, warrior two, Virabhadrasana dose for 2 breaths. Feel that connection, again, from your root center to the crown of your head. And then exhale, windmill the hands to the floor, left foot back, downward facing dog. Okay, take that plank pose. Come into the plank, reorganize. Remember to kind of engage through the back body a bit. So the inner thighs lift up, the navel's moving into the spine, the space in between the shoulder blades, lift that up. There you go. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right foot comes forward. Breathe into warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. Straighten the right leg. Cross your arms. Lift up through the chest. Now this time, keep the right leg extended or straight, and then bring your right shoulder to the right hip bone. Remember to keep the left shoulder moving back, spiraling back. Good. Now just pause there for a moment. This is a variation on triangle pose. So take that left shoulder, Emily, back. So come out a little bit and then spiral open and then squeeze. There you go. That's it. Now bring the left arm up to the sky. Very nice. Turn the palm towards the ocean. Bring the arm over the head. Just a little bit. Doesn't have to be so far. But spiral open just a little bit more. Take that right arm. Now reach for the back of the room. Turn the palm open. Now reach with that arm. And then reach over your head. Are you guys feeling this? Oh, hallelujah. Inhale, one more breath. And then inhale, come back into warrior two. Bend the front knee. Exhale, windmill the hands to the floor, right foot back, downward dog. Oh. Let's take the left foot forward. Inhale, warrior one. Virabhadrasana 1. Exhale, warrior 2. Virabhadrasana dos. Very nice. Connect to the midline. And then inhale, straighten the left leg. Cross your arms. Now, again, just kind of in your mind, think about the hips. The hips squeeze into midline. Maybe 2% effort. Squeeze the feet towards each other. Just 2%, not much. Just a little dose. And then take the left shoulder to the left hip bone. Good. Pause there. We're already kind of activated in our core, in our obliques, in our lateral obliques. So we're just going to just hold this pose now. And pause there, just squeeze a little bit more. Remember to take that right shoulder back. So there's a bit of a twist here. There's a bit of a spiral. Then bring the right arm up towards the sky. And then over the head. And then take the left hand, bring it towards the back of the room. And then reach with the right arm, but also reach with the left hand. There you go. It always helps to turn the corners of your mouth upwards. Inhale, one more breath. And then slowly come into warrior two. Left arm forward, right arm back. Find the midline. Lift both toes of the feet up for just a moment. Notice how that informs your posture, creates stability, muscular engagement. Inhale, keep those toes lifted just for a moment. Exhale, windmill the hands to the floor. Left foot back, downward facing dog. Beautiful. Inhale deeply. And exhale deeply. Inhale deeply. And exhale deeply. All right. So let's see if I can talk you through this. What we're going to do is do a thing called Dande Kriya, which is basically down dog to up dog to down dog. Okay? No chaturanga is allowed. Keep doing Dande Kriya. Inhale from downward dog to upward dog. And exhale into downward dog. Inhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana to Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. And then exhale from Urdhva Mukha Svanasana to Adho Mukha Svanasana. Okay, when you're finished, when you've done enough for yourself, come into crocodile pose just for a moment. Oh, wow. Everybody was done. And just take about 45 seconds here. Just do some deep breaths. Reconnect back to your breath. Okay, so from here, come up and press up onto your knees, and then come into downward facing dog. Okay, so from downward facing dog, inhale, take your right foot up to the sky, and then up to your hands, and come up into warrior one. Okay. So from here, straighten your right leg and let your hands come down to the ground, to the floor, or to the sides of your hips. And then what we're going to do is a dynamic warrior one. So bend your right knee and inhale, bring the arms and reach up to the sky. And bring the arm bones back as far as you can. Keep the arms straight as possible. And then exhale, slowly lower the arms and straighten your right leg. Okay, so inhale, bend the knee, bring the arms, reach up. And exhale, straighten the leg, take the arms down. Inhale. And exhale. See if you can start to elongate the breath. Some of you are breathing very quickly. So slow the breath down. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Good. 2 more times. Inhale. And exhale. And inhale. Good. Now stay there. Become a little bit more mindful of the back foot. Bring the hands behind the back. Interlace the fingers. Stay in the pose. Just interlace the fingers. If that's just too challenging or causing some irritation, just bring the hands to the elbows. That's also fine. But if your fingers are interlaced, see if you can start to squeeze the heel of the hands together. Now start to expand the upper part of your chest. So right into the upper sternum and into the manubrium. And here's the direction I'm going to give you. I don't often give it in Warrior One so much, but squeeze the sides of the belly into the midline and think about the lower ribs starting to kind of close in a little bit. What you're going to find is that this will take the back bend out of the lumbar spine and move it more into the upper part of your chest. So see if you can find that the lower ribs are kind of squeezing in, but now use that as an opportunity to really get into the upper part of your chest. And then take a few deep breaths into the upper part of your chest. Inhale deeply and exhale deeply. And then inhale, bring the arms, reach up to the sky. Navel to spine, exhale, bring the hands down to the ground and step your right foot back, downward facing dog. Inhale, come into plank. Squeeze the sides of the belly into midline. Lift the inner thighs towards the ceiling. So find those inner thighs. Very good. And then exhale, come into downward dog. Inhale, bring the left foot up towards the sky. And then exhale, take the foot up to the hands. Breathe into Warrior One. Nice. Now straighten the left leg and let the arms slowly come down. Inhale, you're going to bend that front knee, bring the arms up to the sky. Take the arm bones back as far as you can comfortably. Feel all the back muscles engage here. Exhale, slowly bring the arms down as you straighten the left leg. Inhale, bend the front knee, take the arms up. And then exhale, bring the arms down. Inhale, bend the front knee, bring the arms up. And then exhale, bring the arms down and straighten the leg. Inhale, bend the front knee, bring the arms up. Exhale, straighten the front leg, bring the arms down. As you're doing this, think about expanding your breath. Inhale. And notice that as you expand your breath, there's an inner feeling that your capacity also starts to expand. Exhale, straighten the leg. Inhale, Bend the front knee. Bring the arms up. Press down there. There you go. And then exhale. And then we'll do it one more time and stay there. So inhale. Bend the front knee. Bring the arms up. Try not to press that so much forward. There you go. Now take the arms back. There you go. Does that feel different? Yeah. Okay, take the hands behind the back. And if you can, squeeze the heel of the hands together. I didn't say this on the other side, but if the heel of your hands are together, start to bend the elbows a little bit. And you can kind of feel a little bit more space in the chest. A little bit more engagement, really, at the mid-traps. And start to breathe into the upper part of your chest. Take the sides of your belly into the midline. Inhale deeply. Exhale deeply. See if you can fill the upper part of your chest with prana. Feel the space in clavicle notch, right at just above the manubrium. Filling with breath. And there's an expansive quality. This expansive quality is related to what we refer to as the udana prana, which denotes your enthusiasm and brings forth a quality of inspiration. Take one more breath. Inhale, bring the arms, reach up to the sky. And then navel to spine, exhale, bring the hands to the floor. Take the left foot back, downward facing dog. Inhale, come into plank. And then exhale slowly all the way down to the floor. Take crocodile pose. Inhale deeply. Exhale deeply. Inhale deeply. Exhale deeply. Okay, take a couple of deep breaths in and deep breaths out. All right. So, let's look over here for 1 second. Okay. I'm going to use your body, is that okay? Bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Actually, bring your hands down beside your waist. and your forehead down. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do a few things to engage the glutes. So bridge pose is really great, but some people come into bridge and if they have weakened glutes, it helps over time, but I sometimes do the 2-punch combo. So doing this one-legged lift is really useful. I just want to kind of point out a couple of things. So bend your left knee, and let's actually just do a quick test. Bend your left knee, lift your leg up. Okay, and then come on down. Okay, now do it again. Ah, she's got good hip extension. That's not bad. Relax. Do it on this side now. Okay, come back down and do it again. So not so much on your right side. It's a little harder, isn't it? Did you guys see that? She's struggling a little bit with her right side. And do it again on the right. So lift up. So I kind of had to block her here because she wanted to lift her whole pelvic bone up. I want you guys to be mindful of not doing that. So we'll just do it on this side again. But what I want you to do is, what do I want you to do? Is take your left hand and just kind of have it here and just kind of feel and make sure that that pelvic bone, which is right there, doesn't lift up. That you really kind of isolate the glute as much as possible. Now it does help to engage the glute first. So engage it. Woo. And then lift up. Good. Now she's cooking. And you can see that it completely changed because she's actually really isolating the glutes. That's what we want to go for here, is to really isolate as much as possible. Okay? Sounds good? Okay, so let's do that. So let's start with the right side. So bring your right hand sort of to the lower part of your back and then bend your right knee. Now engage the glute first. And you guys might notice that you're weak to begin with. You might notice, some of you might notice that you get stronger as we do this because your brain is starting to connect to those muscles. So engage that right glute, lift the right leg up. Good. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and slowly come on down. And just straighten the leg, just relax it. And then do it again. So bend the right knee and bring your right hand just on your lower back there, just to feel. And then engage that right glute and then lift it up. In 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then come on back down and relax. And then do it again. So bend the knee, engage the glute, and then lift up. Very good. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and come on down. Nice. Kind of shake the glute. Just relax it. Relax it. Relax it. Then do it again. Engage the glute. Lift it up. There, you're getting higher now. Do you notice that? It's good. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and come on down. Very nice. And then do it again. Bend the knee, engage the glute, and then lift it up. Nice. Good hip extension. 4, 5, 6. Come on down. I'm going to just tweak it just a little bit. Bring your knee a little closer. Good. Do an external rotation. Good. And then lift it up again. Good. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and come on down. I think that was 5. Do it one more time. So bend the knee and then lift it up. Engage the glute lift. Try not to lift the other hip. That's it. And then relax down. Did you guys notice a difference as we progressively did it? Nice. Okay, let's do the other side. So bend the left knee. Nice. And then engage the left glute. Have the left hand on the lower back just to make sure you don't lift that pelvic bone, and then lift up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and come on down. Nice. And bend the knee and engage that left glute and then lift it up. And holding 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and come on down. These will be really great for you, Caitlin. Real good. And bend the knee and engage that left glute and then lift it up. Good. 2. Now notice if you're trying to press down into the right leg. So become aware of that and try not to compensate. And then come on down. Ooh, you're not lifting as much, Charlotte, on the left side. Did you notice that? Yeah, there's an imbalance there. And it'd be interesting to do a dive into that. Bend the left knee, engage the left glute, and then lift up. And holding 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and come on down. Just kind of shake them out. And do it again. So bend the left knee, engage that left glute, and lift up. Nice. Good job, Sydney. And lift up a little bit more.
I feel like I have no extension in
And then come on down. Is this just on both sides or this side?
both sides.
Okay. And then do it again so we know what we need to work on. Good. Every day, Amanda. In 6 months, you'll see a huge difference. 5, 6, come on down. And one more time. Bend the knee and engage that glute and lift it up. And holding 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Good. Okay, bring the hands down beside your waist and spread your legs just a little bit. And then we're going to do Shalabhasana. So lift the legs and lift the chest up. Good. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Come on down. So let's do a little bit of cueing. So lift the legs up and lift the chest. Bring the chin in just a little bit and elongate the back of your neck. Now really lift from the inner thighs up. Work on straightening the legs as much as you can, Bill. Keep those legs straight. Keep pushing through the heels of your feet and then come on down. Nice. Good. And then do it again. So lift up. Nice, Josh. Very good. And 3, 4, 5, and 6. Come on down. Kind of shake it out a little bit. Shake your glutes. One of the things that we constantly want to remember is to come into these quote-unquote muscle activations from a place that's relaxed. We're really healing that neuromuscular response. And we're doing it through the parasympathetic nervous system as much as possible. So really try to remember that. Come on up again. Nice. Keep your legs as extended as possible. Press a little bit through the heels of the feet. Now, come on down a little bit, Cindy, but lift the legs up higher. There you go. You guys feel that more in the lower back, right? Yes. Exhale, come on down. That's because that's where the longissimus attaches to. It inserts to. So it's going to shorten as it moves up the spine, right? Remember, everything is lifting up to lift us up. One more time. Lift up. Go for it. Go for broke. There we go. Bring the chin in a little bit more, Harrison. Expand the collarbones. Lift up in the manubrium. And then come on down.
Aaron,
Yep.
for us, maybe more bonier individuals.
Use a towel. Use a blanket.
Okay.
Yeah. No. This is a backbend class. Yeah. Okay. Ooh, backbends. Just opened up your throat chakras. Okay, so this is where things get interesting. So have the hands down beside you. You're going to bend your knees, both knees. Lift your chest up and lift the legs up as high as you can. Lift them up. I know, it's not easy. Bend your knees. Selena. There you go. Now push the heels up to the ceiling. And then I want you to reach for the ankles, but don't grab them. Just reach them. Grab them. And you can pull, don't grab them. Don't grab the ankles. But you can kind of like start to bend the knees so that the heels are coming towards your glutes, but don't grab them. Lift up a little higher. Lift up. And then come on down. This is a dynamic way to begin practicing bow pose, dhanurasana.
And grabbing would be passive.
Yes, we are going to grab them in a moment. But we're going to start activating all the muscles first, so it's not completely a passive pose. Most people go into it with no activation at all, so we're going to activate first. So it's questionable. It's kind of like we're walking a fine line right now. But this is a very dynamic way, and it kind of gets you to see what your range of motion is, how much your muscles are actually contracting. Okay, let's do it again. Bend the knees and lift up as high as you can. And work on grabbing your ankles. Don't grab them. But you can also kind of bend your knees more. So if you want to bend your knees more, that's fine. That will start to activate the hamstrings. But then lastly, lift the knees up as high as you can. Go for broke. And then exhale, come on down. I know. Are we still friends? Karen, are you afraid?
My hamstrings aren't.
Your hamstrings are afraid. Everything we're doing right now is in your control. And that's something that's really important to understand. When you're doing things dynamically, you're in complete control. And there's 100% accountability. I can't hurt you because everything you're doing is dynamic. And so from a safety perspective, everything we're doing is 100% safe. Because you can't drop into bow pose. You have to fight against gravity to come into it. And that's one of the reasons why it's such a great pose to do. All of these things we're doing are just fantastic. I know it doesn't feel like that right now. But we're going to do it one more time. And then this time we're going to come into bow. But we're going to do it a little dynamically first, just like we did. So bend the knees. And then pretend you're grabbing your ankles, but don't grab them yet. Come up as high as you can. Okay, just do it for 5 more seconds. Reach as much as you can. Reach it, reach it, reach it. And then if you want to, grab your ankles. You don't have to if you want to. But we're going to stay here for about 30 seconds. Plus. So lift up the heels. Kick up the heels now. That's it, Charlotte. Good. Maybe start to kick the feet towards the back of the room. Good. Anna, can you bring your knees a little closer? Just a little bit. Don't overdo it. But now kick the heels up. Expand the chest. Lift your chest up a little bit higher, Stephanie. There you go. Nice, Cindy. Turn the corners of your mouth upwards. Don't look at me like that. Lift up a little bit more. 10 more seconds. Lift up. Go for broke here. That's it, Amanda. Nice. Beautiful, Alicia. Go for it. Go for it. And then come on down. Come on to your backs. Don't worry. We're not there yet. I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. Don't go there. Don't close your eyes yet. Pick a point on the ceiling. Stay in the room. I know. You know what's coming next. This is the moment that Karen signed up for. Sorry? You don't, your back doesn't feel as bad? No. Yeah. You know, one of the things, that I think I mentioned this to you guys, I developed this ego at a very young age that I was a person with a bad back. So guess which poses I steered away from a lot? Backbends. And it was the absolute wrong thing to do. That I actually should have done more backbends. But nobody ever told me that. And nobody ever taught me these poses. And so everything we've been doing to this point has been, like I said, 100% accountable. Meaning that you're using your own body strength to go against gravity to build that muscular strength. You're not dropping back into anything. You're not pushing anything. So just so that you don't disappear on me, bend your knees. And let's actually do bridge pose first. So we're going to do bridge just in our muscle activation way. So we've worked on the glutes in many ways. So see if bridge feels a little bit different than it did yesterday. Okay? So bring the arms out to the sides or over your head. So either one is fine. Sometimes over the head can irritate people's shoulders. So then I just say bring the arms out to the sides, like a T. Yeah. So bring the arms more out like this, because we do that so that it's okay if you hit each other. It's probably karmic.
Armin, can I get hit?
Yeah.
Oh.
She probably owes you. The feet are about hip distance, a bit more than hip distance apart. So just a little bit wider. Bring the feet a little closer to you. And then squeeze the glutes and lift up as high as you can. Okay, does it feel a little different than yesterday when we did it? Your glutes are fired up. Your hip extension is getting better, a lot better.
Yeah.
It's awesome. And then slowly come on down. And then lift up again, squeeze the glutes. Just for fun, lift the toes, just the toes, just the toes, just the toes, only the toes. Okay, we have to do an anatomy of the feet. These are the toes. And then come on down. Good, jiggle your glutes just a little bit. Just make sure they're relaxed. And then pop up. Try not to move your head too much.
I'm just trying to watch you.
No, I know that. No, it's just because sometimes I've kinked my neck really badly like that. And so it's too much information in the body, and then the body just like tightens up to protect itself. So I don't want you to have a bad neck. Seriously, I don't want you to have a bad neck. Lift up a little bit more, squeeze the glutes, and then come on down. Kind of jiggle a little bit. Okay, going to kind of add on a little bit. So there's typically in bridge, we're definitely working, definitely glutes. Some of you might feel a little bit in the lower back too, yeah? And then of course hamstrings, but now I want to work the hamstrings a little bit more. We have to be a little cautious, and I'll talk about that caution another day, but for now, we're going to kind of just activate the hamstrings a little bit more. So lift up the hips as high as you can. Just lift the toes for a moment and come into the heels. Just the toes. And then kind of pull, without moving, pull the heels towards your shoulders. So keep lifting up. Don't lose that height. And then kind of pull the heels, and you'll feel this in your hamstrings, right? Good. And then come on down. Jiggle, jiggle, jiggle. And then do it again. Do you find that you're cramping a little? Okay, and then lift the toes and really anchor into the heels. It's okay. Just take it easy. Less is more than, remember. Pull the heels towards the shoulders and then come on down. And the last one, we're going to play with this a little bit more. You okay, Karen?
Yeah, because my hamstrings.
They cramp? So that's the fine line I was talking about, because sometimes the hamstrings really take over. So I would just say lift up a little bit and focus on the glutes, because your glutes are not doing anything. Well, I shouldn't say they're not doing anything. They're just the hamstrings are taking over, and they're overworked. So do it again. Lift up So don't do what I'm going to say, okay? So listen carefully. What you're going to do now is kind of come onto the toes or the ball of the left foot. So lift the left heel up and really anchor down into that right heel. I want you to put all your weight into that right heel and then kind of pull that right heel towards you. Do you guys feel that in your right hamstring? Okay. And then come on down. It's okay. It's okay. I mean,
I'm feeling it in my boot, but
you might, it'll isolate the glute more. It's okay. I mean, these are kind of very general. It's not going to isometrically get into the hamstring. These are kind of more general things. So you may or may not feel it. Yeah, it's not a bad thing. But if you worked at it, you probably could start. Okay, let's do the other side. So lift up first. This will be the last one. And then this time, lift up the right heel of the foot. And it's just more for balance. And so that, because you could lift the right leg up, but that can create a lot of stress. So I just prefer to keep the foot down. And it gives you an opportunity to really anchor into that left heel and kind of pull the heel towards your shoulders a bit. There you go. Yeah, you guys feeling that? It's nice. And then come on down. The fine line that you're walking is you don't want to get the hamstring to start cramping. That means it's overworking, and that's not fun. So it's kind of like that's the fine line that we're walking. Okay, just relax for a moment. Bring the feet a little wider, and then bring the knees together. And just pause. Is that nice?
Yeah.
Are we friends again?
Yeah.
Okay, thank God. Inhale deeply. Exhale deeply. Inhale deeply. Exhale deeply. Okay, so if some of you want to just finish here, that's fine. I mean, just stay here. If you want to follow along, we can stop at bridge. So we're going to do bridge and then we'll move into wheel. So if bridge is where you want to stay at, that's also fine. So bring your feet into bridge feet and then a little bit wider. And bring the hands down, this time beside your waist. And lift your hips up as high as you can first. And then two, kind of grab the fingers underneath your back just to start off with. So kind of pull the shoulders a little bit towards each other. Nice. Then from here, keep your arms where they are, but let go of the hands. And then bring the fingers, keep the elbows on the floor, but bring the fingers towards the ceiling. And then walk your elbows towards the feet just a little bit more. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Can you lift your chest up higher? Now from that place, again, you can just stay here. From that place, if you want to go further, start to bring the hands beside the ears. Good. Bring the elbows in just a little bit. And then come onto the top of your head first. Very good. Now, keep the elbows moving a little bit towards each other. And then from here, start to press into wheel pose, Urdhva Dhanurasana. Very nice. Come on down just for a second. Come on down, come on down. Okay, stay there. Bring your hands wider. Can you do that? Right about there. Okay. Okay, now try and come up. Very good. Press into my hand. Press into my hand. Press into my hand. Very good. Press into my hand. Press into my hand. Push down into the heels of your feet. Squeeze the glute. Squeeze the glute. Squeeze the glute. There you go. Jesus. That's awesome. And then slowly come on down. Don't worry, we're going to do it one more time. Just pause. Keep your eyes open. Don't disappear. I know some of you are waiting for that S word. We don't use the S word yet.
Bridge pose.
Did you feel it open here?
I did not.
Okay, breathe in, breathe out. Let's do it one more time if you wish. So first come into bridge, align your elbows, do that thing with the elbows, bring the hands towards the fingers towards the sky, walk the elbows a little closer to the heels of the feet. Turn the toes in a little bit. Remember to have the feet a little wider or a little narrower, whichever. And then bring the hands beside your ears. Pause there for a moment. Lift up the chest first and then come onto the top of your head. Turn the toes in, Anna. Turn the toes in. Bring the elbows in. Elbows in. Now slowly lift up into wheel. Good. Now I'm going to cue you a little differently. Most of our chests are facing towards the ocean, so I'm going to cue that way. If you're up in wheel, press the chest towards the ocean. Straighten the arms. Push down into the heels of the feet, Selena. Push down into the heels of the feet. Very good. Push the chest towards the ocean. Good. If you want to, lift your right leg up. Ekapada Urdhva Dhanurasana. Push up through the heel of the foot. Lower down. And then lift up through the left leg. Nice, Amanda. Good. And then slowly come down. And then come all the way down and straighten your legs. It's not, don't disappear yet. We've got, remember that counter pose I promised we would do. Inhale deeply. Did you come up? I didn't see.
I have a bad shoulder, so wheels are out of my wheelhouse.
You've got a bad shoulder from something, or you just got bad shoulders, period?
I have bad shoulders, period.
Oh yeah, you told me you tweaked your shoulder.
Yeah. My wheel's never been my strong point. I don't mean to have an ego thing about it, but
We'll flip the script.
I actually just did probably the best wheel I've ever done.
Good.
I tried it.
Yes.
I did not try.
Next year, same time next year then. Okay, so bend your knees first, like you would for bridge. And then let the hands just come to the sides. And then straighten your right leg along the floor. Okay, and listen carefully. So you're going to just slowly take about 15 seconds to bring the leg to 90 degrees. So take 15, that's slower than that, Josh. 15 seconds to slowly raise the leg to 90 degrees. Even slower, Charlotte. A little smoother. And then once you reach 90 degrees, then slowly lower the leg back down with the same kind of speed, and do that a few times. So this is a really nice way to extend in the spine, so create spinal extension. It's also a really nice way to activate the hip flexors. It's also a nice way to start reconnecting lower body with upper body. Remember, we talked about how the psoas is connected to the leg and connects to the spine. So it's a nice way to reintegrate those two ideas. Okay, don't grab the leg. Just let the leg stay there on its own. And then once you've done this side, switch to the other side, please. kind of keep a little bit of intention here, meaning like just keep pressing through the heel of the foot with maybe like 10% effort, but just to create more intentionality. You're not in pain, are you?
No, I was
You're just feeling it.
my
Yeah.
arm.
Okay, once you're finished, just come onto lying on your back. Please set up for Shavasana once you're finished. Okay, let's keep the noise, please, just down. So just quietly start to transition to Shavasana. Remember to set up in a way that's going to be really comfortable for you. You know, if you need to support your neck. We haven't talked about spinal molding yet in this training, but if you want to set up, if you know what it is, do it. I'll go through it at some point with you guys. Lift your... No. Oh, is that hurting your feet?
No, I just wanted to be able to.
Okay. Set that up. No, you do what you're... You do you. Do it then. Okay. Good. And then lift your feet. There. Is that nice? Okay. And Shavasana is a wonderful opportunity to begin integrating all that you've done. To integrate the entire practice. To begin feeling that expansiveness or that expansive quality. As you breathe in, feel as if your breath is expanding beyond the confines of your body. Feel as if your breath is filling the space of this room. And allow your mind to go with that breath. take a deep breath in through your nose and exhale through your nose. Feel your awareness moving back into your body through your breath. Begin to bend your one knee. And then begin to bend your other knee. Very slowly start to roll over to the side. And then slowly come and sit up.